I was so excited about this, I literally just turned on the camera. I just turned on the camera and said, let's go, because when these things are presented to you, you just know, you know, and this is a knife that I've been wanting to see come since the first original version dropped. And the first original version of this is the Quiet Carry WAYPOINT. Now I present to you the large Quiet Carry WAYPOINT back to its original thinned out geometry. So it's literally just a large version of the original. They already did do a large version, but it was thicker, more robust, more hand filling, definitely more harder use, which I absolutely love. I think that this is an amazing, amazing knife. I freaking love it. But this, look at this geometry. Look at the difference there. You want to talk about SLICEY, and we're talking about Van Axe steel. This one's in Magna Cut. So like I said, this one's a little bit more of a tougher knife. This one is mega slicey, just like the original. Everything is the same thickness, same thinness. This thing, oh my goodness. Same deep hollow ground blade. The handle has this beautiful micro milling texture that's just nice and tactile. It really feels really good in the hand. Deep carry wire clip, love their deep carry wire clip. Good access to the lock bar. Amazing thumb stud action because it has larger thumb studs than the original. The original had, you know, because it's a smaller knife, had to have smaller thumb studs. This one brings to you, ooh, that was my fault, much thicker thumb studs. Mine is rock solid all the way around. I doubled and triple checked it on the whack. Everything's good on it. Yeah, man, this one's this is something special, guys. I rarely say favorite. You know, I might say favorite from a company or something like that, but this is something that I consider one of my favorites of all time, like of all companies. And I've only just gotten it, so you know. But I know, you know, when you know, you know. Now, there is something that I do wish they would have done differently, and that is I wish it was on bearings. It is on washers, and it is very smooth. This one's also on washers, but I love Quiet Carry's ceramic bearing action. So this one has ceramic bearings in the pivot, and that's why it's so smooth. These have phosphor bronze washers, which does make them a little bit tighter. However, it's still very smooth for such a light blade. So, you know, that might be something I might grow to appreciate even more over time. I did say with this one, I still wish it was on bearings, but if you look, it has gotten much smoother than originally, but it also has a thicker and heavier blade. Now, let's look at this really quick. So, the original one had a satin finish, or at least mine did. A very fine satin finish that was somewhat reflective. This new one has a satin finish with a stone wash on top of it. It might be difficult to see, but there is a satin underneath that stone wash, which does have its own unique look to it. The Van Axe steel, nice deep hollow ground blade, titanium scales, beautiful micro milling, steel liner, good access. The thumb studs are, everything's larger, by the way, everything. The thumb studs, you know, obviously the handle, the only thing is that it's the same thickness, which I freaking love. That's what I wanted to see. This is, while it's not going to be the most ergonomic knife of all time, and this one is definitely more ergonomic because it's thicker, slightly contoured, you know, it does have a lot going for it as far as, you know, ergonomics goes. So this one's not going to be as good as that one, but it is so much slicier, and because the handle is larger than the original, it does make for a phenomenal knife in the hand. I have not cut with it yet, but I already know, you know, I know things, and this is something I already know. I love neutral handles. It allows me to use it in any grip and it be very comfortable. It allows for a good balance in the hand. You know, it's just very natural. You know, there's a reason why a lot of knives are straightforward like this, because it does work. It doesn't take away any, you know, thing from other companies that are doing, you know, handles where your hand is fit into a specific spot, but I do, and I like those too, but I also really love a straightforward design that's just very neutral in anybody's hand. And this being the size it is, it's going to work in anybody's hand. Beautiful. Man, look at that micro milling. You gotta love Quiet Care's micro milling. It is just absolutely gorgeous. Not only does it look good, it's very deep, almost like sandpaper, which I appreciate. It offers a real grippiness in your hand. Man, I've already checked the lockup and everything. Everything's solid on it. The centering's good. No detent lash or anything like that. No up and down. I've already checked all this. This is one thing I checked. I do my little inspection right off the bat, but then I just turned the camera on because I wanted to show you guys this. I'm not going to make it a long video. I'm excited about this. I think a lot of you guys are going to be excited about it. This is something we've been screaming about since the original came out a couple years ago. You know, like I said, they did make the bigger version, but it was not the same because, while this is still really good, and a lot of people might even want this more than this one. This one's a titanium liner lock with G10 scales. This is titanium scales with a steel liner lock. So, a little bit different, but this does allow it to have a nice slicey edge with a thick blade, so a little bit tougher as far as geometry goes. The handle, though, you know, being a little bit thicker and, you know, contoured, it is extremely comfortable. Like, wow, comfortable. So, yes, that will have that over that. But as far as, you know, this being an EDC knife, you know, that's where this thing's gonna shine for EDC use. It's so slim, you can slip it right in the pocket. You're not even gonna know you have it in your pocket yet. You have a full size, very slicey knife because of geometry. You know, geometry is the most important, absolute most important, even more important than the steel, even more important than the heat treatment. You know, and a lot of, you know, a lot of people agree about this. So it's geometry first, then heat treatment, then the steel. So obviously you want all of the above, but geometry is number one. And this being so thin and so slicey will make it not only pass through materials really well, but it'll make it have better edge retention. It'll be easier to sharpen. It'll be easier to maintain, easier to strop. Literally everything across the board will be better. The only thing that will go down is the toughness, right? But for an EDC knife, do we really need that much toughness? I mean, sometimes maybe. I'm not saying there's not some applications or some times where, yeah, I want that. But for the most part, the majority of knives, I want to cut really well. I want to strop and sharpen up really well and easy and be a fantastic cutting tool. So they knocked this out of the damn park. I love it. And man, you know, even though I do wish it was on bearings, this thing is smooth, Jack. Like, very smooth. Like, some would say Sabenza smooth, but possibly even smoother. I haven't oiled it. I haven't greased it. I haven't nothing. It's just fresh out of the box, guys. Fresh out of the box. I am definitely going to be carrying and using this thing. It did come with a good edge. I'll say that, man. Quiet Care did a good job with this edge for a factory edge. I do wish the sharpening tool and plunge grind was a little bit better. Let me see this one. This is the way I wish it was. I wish it was just like this. See how this one's smaller? The edge is closer to the end of the plunge grind. See how far away this one is? That's the way it should be. I wish they did this plunge grind on this one. That's, you know, my second, or not even real negative. I just wish, you know, because they still gave you something. You'll still be able to sharpen it off. And technically, you can cut your own little choil in if you need to. But it's nice when it comes from the factory so that I could just resharpen my knife over and over and over without ever having to worry about hitting the plunge grind or cutting in a choil or anything like that. All in all, this is something special, in my opinion, as far as people that want premium, high-quality knives and are looking for everything in one. You're getting pretty much everything right here that most people are going to want in an EDC knife. You know, to me, it has the looks, it has the style, it has the geometry, it has the steel, it has the materials, it has the little details. So I'm struggling to say this is my absolute favorite knife of all time. I'm not going to say that, but I will say that if I had to pick out 10 knives right now that are my absolute favorite knives, and even though I just opened this up and I know you guys are like, you're in the honeymoon phase, you're in the honeymoon phase. Yes, I am. I absolutely am in the honeymoon phase. But if you did ask me right now, my top 10 knives, this would absolutely go in the run. It would have to. I would have to put this in there. These are made in Taiwan. From my experience, they do a good job with their Vanax. You know, I do think that Vanax is a little bit more susceptible to burnt edges. So I do think that, and I'm not saying right now because I haven't tested this or anything, but like my original did have that where it had a little bit of a burnt edge. I did have to resharpen it in order to bring the edge retention out. So if you do use it or, you know, whatever, and you notice it goes dull pretty quick, don't worry about it. It's nothing against the steel. It's just, I think this steel is susceptible to burnt edges a little bit more. I can't prove that, but I'm just, you know, it's my guess. So I say just give it an edge, give it a new edge, and you will see the life come out of that steel. Anyways, there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.